Okay, so 2019, it was predicted that it's going to be a very, very hot year. And when it's hot, you know, we see a lot of bushfires. And actually driving down the highway yesterday, I think I saw one or two going down. And this is something that we need to be prepared for. And we need to know what we can do to prevent bushfires. With me this morning are two officers from the Trinidad and Tobago Fire Service. I have Roy Thompson, who is the Divisional Fire Officer for North, and Mr. Robert Dookie, the Assistant Divisional Officer for South. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Pleasant morning to you.
Yeah. So the fires have already started in some places.
Yep. Well, first I must say it's a pleasant good morning to the general public of Trinidad and Tobago, and to also the management of TTT for inviting us to share a little information, the few minutes that we have, in order to sensitize or educate the general public on basically three areas. Mm-hmm. One is the what are the dangers of igniting bushfires during the bushfire season, which is from the 1st of December to the 30th of June. Secondly, what could we do to prevent, you understand, or the methods to use in order to prevent or eradicate the damages caused by bushfires during the season. And thirdly, the penalties or the convictions with regards if anyone is being convicted to igniting outdoor fires during the season. Now, we are not saying you cannot ignite a fire outdoor, but there are rules and regulations, and we know the general public is a law-abiding population.
Some would probably disagree with that.
By and large, you understand? As I just say that, you see the word chance, many times disasters are not ready to happen. Somebody takes a chance.
Yeah.
And when you take a chance, that is when disasters strike.
So there are mechanisms in place. If you want to light a fire outside your house, what is the procedure to do that?
Lighting of any fire external to houses are governed by the Agricultural Fire Act, Chapter 6302. That tells us the policy and dictates the events and the mechanism before someone can light an external fire or fire outdoors.
Because sometimes you might light a fire in your yard and you don't think that it would, you know, cause a bigger fire.
Regress into, yeah.
So let's get into the dangers of igniting fires.
Well, first of all, we have the fire guardians, who are the ones responsible for whenever somebody comes to, if they need to ignite a fire, they have to get a fire permit, right? So the fire guardians are the ones who have to, when they do the application, they will go visit the scene where they need to ignite the fire, get the necessary, put the necessary precautionary measures in place, give them certain recommendations. Once that has been done, they will return to station, and the county officer, who is the divisional fire officer operation, will issue a permit once everything is okay. But Officer Dookie, he has the relevant procedures and process, so he would guide you accordingly how it has been done.
Just to continue Mr. Thompson's comments, a candidate comes in for a fire permit to light a fire external to his structures. He will come and make an application, and that is relative to Section 18 of the Agricultural Fire Act. There's a set out policies and requirements that must be fulfilled. He will be guided by the officer or the fire guardian, who will walk him through the basic requirements. Once that is fulfilled, it is incumbent upon the fire guardian or the officer in charge to visit that scene to verify the veracity of the information and the surrounding structures, if so, or vegetation, to make sure the necessary precautions are implemented to avoid a regression or spreading of that fire once it is being lit. Once that is fulfilled, one of the main criteria is that we must have some form of extinguishing medium in the event that things go awry. Secondly, we must have a workforce, manpower, to implement those extinguishing medium. Once that is fulfilled, and the terms and conditions are set by the visiting officers, the permit is issued to the individual.
How long does this process take?
In a matter of probably hours. Once the request is made, the officer or the fire garden would visit immediately. Once the application is made, visit and everything is well, as according to the documentation on the form, he is given a permit.
Yeah. And I know you gentlemen have some statistics as it relates to fires.
Oh yeah. Our statistical data speaks volume to our educational policy, our drive to educate the younger ones and the schools, churches, goodwill visits. In 2014, that was the peak of the bushfire calls that we received, totaling 2,756, 2014. Basically due to our clarion call for the citizen to be aware of the Fire Agricultural Act and our policies. There's a steady decline. In 2015, there was a 5% decline. 2016, 6% decline, a decrease in the number of calls. 27, as much as 22% decline. 2018, a high of 33%.
And we're expecting that to be?
Well, this year will be extremely hot, and one of the meteorological person, Mr. Kerr, speaks volume of the hotness and the extreme dryness of this year. So it likened to 2016. But we must bear in mind that 2016 we had a decline.
Yeah.
So based on the education and the implementation of the Agricultural Fire Act, that took in effect diminishing the amount of calls.
Yeah. And hopefully people take heed the call of the fire officers, because I know from time to time the fire officers may be constrained with the resources that they may have as well.
Yeah, well, hence the reason why the education is important. Now, the information really is very easy. Google has made life very, very simple and easy for people. If you want to acquire any information, you Google it. But many times, again, people don't take the time out, and not because of ignorance. Ignorance is no excuse of the law.
And talking about the law, I just want to get quickly into the penalties for lighting fires.
Yeah, well,
all right. With reference to the Agricultural Fire Act, Section 33(2), the former penalty or fine was 1,500 for an infraction. Now it has increased via the Amendment 19 of 2018 to a sum of $20,000. $20,000 is that increase too. So it's really a deterrent. To pay a fine of $20,000 in this current economic is really challenging. So I want to implore everybody to adhere to the Agricultural Fire Act, avoid paying that $20,000. So.
And people in the past, they have been convicted.
Yes,
definitely.
Yeah? Yes.
So people, you don't want to go and pay $20,000 for doing something that you can prevent.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah? Gentlemen, I would like to say thank you very much for coming on this morning, sharing some important information with us. Mr. Roy Thompson, Divisional Fire Officer North, and Robert Dookie, Assistant Divisional Officer South. And I hope that you all will come again to keep us updated with what is happening.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen.
It has been a pleasure.
Yeah,
yes,
it was absolutely fantastic. And I see on social media people actually saying that they are happy to hear this information. You know, we need to keep reminding people as we go along.